Hey, Slowpoke, man, go get off and check with the in on 417 or 510 on the Hamakusa and begin it up.
All right. Still working. Yeah, God bless you. You're working. Keep Hello.
On the Nemo Island on 510 audio, my station, I'm back by.
Well, I guess the best way to start it is to do something that sounds like the old Tube Radio Network. So let's try it.
Find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old Tube Radio Network.
The old Tube Radio Network here in Central California, something that has been occupying this frequency on Saturday evenings for about 36 years or so, where we take time out to listen to and watch for the great tube radios, those classic radios from 1958 to about 1978 that graced the airwaves and still do so in the 21st century. The old Tube Radio Network, streaming audio at oldtuberadio.com. And there is a YouTube video as well that people are watching, perhaps live, perhaps in the future. We will be talking to the shortwave listeners as they say hello. Before we check in the glow-in-the-dark radios, the skip is running. Looks like we've got some north-south skip into Central California, so we'll see how it works.
That's right, coming up here for me in the morning, guys. The cracked up coconut game.
Even from the mini grass, perhaps. Starting with the SWL roll call, and I was just informed that we might have a pipeline to 00, the station up there. OTR is standing by possibly for a 00 check-in over.
This is 00 checking in.
00 checking in over the air. I'm not sure what radio you're on. It sounds great here on the old Tube Radio Network. And we knew we were going to get some conditions, and we are just in the beginning of cycle 25. Chrissy, you sound great. The radio is good. My hat is off to Dwayne for getting everything set up tonight, and it's good. We've got you checked in.
Thank you very much. Check out so that you can continue.
Just to make their way through.
Will do. From up in Idaho, SWL 00 checking in. Sounding good on the conditions tonight. We'll see what happens. As you can see behind me, the sun is going down. We are in the gray line here on the West Coast, and the band is open. We've got to check in for SWL number 1. Also checking in SWL number 2, Mr. OBP, who is out listening on over on the video side tonight. I don't know how the skip was on old radio night. We'll have to check with Mr. JT. Also checking in SWL 3. If you're playing the home game, you should be on the 6th slot. That would be the 15th of May, 2021. SWL 4. SWL 5. SWL 6. And we do have the Echo Link link. The 23 Skidoo Echo link is up. If you have Echo Link capabilities, the node number is 354870 on the Echo Link tonight. We'll try and get anybody who wants to check in that way, checked in that way, over to SWL 7.
Yeah, let's proxy 7.
Proxying in number 7. I think we might have Chrissy do all the proxy check-ins tonight. She was sounding so good here in Fresno, California this evening. I don't know if the conditions are still in. We'll try it again. SWL 10. Or do we still have conditions for SWL 10 over?
SWL 10 checking in.
All right, hearing you loud and clear. Boy, we have a pipeline. Must have that ionospheric cloud right over. I'll have to look at a chart. Greg, Mr. Superloop, has left a chart. I don't have it up, but it will show the DX conditions, and I bet there's lots of the red squares heading that way. Thanks again, Chrissy. That's 2 for 2, 100% tonight. Sounding good.
I hear you. The modulation factor.
Adios. Here at the Old Tube Radio Network, streaming at oldtuberadio.net. I think somewhere like that. SWL 13.
Right.
And if I remember to refresh my comments, I will see you if you do check in over on the main page. SWL 14. SWL 16. I'm waiting for the scroll up to come up here and see who exactly is on tonight. Anoka, Minnesota, right down in the front row as usual, making sure that everything is on. The lights look good tonight. It's a little warm, so I'm in the summer attire, but it looks good. Hope all is well, Charlie, and not sure what kind of conditions you guys have out that way. Over to SWL 17. SWL 18. Got an internet check-in for Mr. KDA. Over to SWL 19. In the footlights here, making sure that the cue cards are ready to go. A Chet in Derby, New York, where it is later than you think. The sun is down. You can hear that we have some conditions here on the West Coast tonight. Not sure what you all had over there, but should be good here at the beginning of cycle 25. Over to, it's going to be hard to hear the local stations tonight. Over to SWL 20. I'll get a proxy check-in for 20. I can't remember if he was going to be in the shack or not. We'll be listening in. Checking. I think the crossband is up on the particular crossband frequency, so we'll be listening for that.
Go ahead and check him in, Dennis. Oh, my wife, I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'll get him checked in, and he may pop in momentarily.
20 dB.
Over to SWL 21, Mr. JT, fresh from his appearance on Old Radio Night tonight. Let me see if I can get a shot of what was happening. There it is. There's the control room on Old Radio Night tonight. What was it? The Saturn. It was the Saturn. There's the great on-the-air light. And we might have, if I do this right, what was happening on Old Radio Night tonight just moments ago?
Just say his name 3 times. Tom, okay. Tom, okay. I've seen it on Facebook and YouTube there, 05, but I just couldn't remember who it was there. Yeah, I got 11's killing me over there. Pistol Pete's rolling big time there, Roger.
So it looks like they were having some conditions on the Old Radio Night tonight. The ground rod on the Wasama Swamp's working great. And I think.
Yeah, what does that antenna cost? About $375?
Now, here's a guy that doesn't need a new antenna.
$900. Good God.
Yeah, you can buy 3 of the ones you had there, JT. All right, well, he's saving up his pennies. Maybe we'll start a GoFundMe so we can get that $900 antenna over on Old Radio Night. Sounding good, Mr. JT, on Old Radio Night, and we got you checked in. Next, we are going to SWL 22. And let me see if the Echo Link is up and running. Should be over on this control here, and we'll see how Mr. 23's Skidoo is showing up on the Echo Link. It should be this control right here. Looking for OTR 23 on the Echo link over.
Good evening, Dennis, and hello to all the SWLs. Oscar Tango Romeo 23 checking in, KA3TEB. Have a great show.
All right, will do. You are sounding good. The link is up tonight to the Echo link at node 354870 under something called the Old Tube Radio Network or something like it. Sounding good, sir, and we've got you checked in.
All right, Squad. We up in Cool Country Squad.
And I'll say that if you are trying to check in and I don't hear you because of the skip conditions, you can come back, of course, as always, anytime during the net and get checked in. Could be a little bit rough if you are actually local. If you're in Idaho like Dwayne and Chris, you're not gonna have any problems checking in tonight. Let's try SWL 24. SWL 25.
Checking in. Hope you can hear me, and I have a special guest here.
This is 74, Miss Joey. Hello.
Anyway, we're both checking in. Hopefully you can hear us through all the hash and trash out there. Back to you, Dennis.
This is the hash and trash frequency. I hear you both. Of course, Miss Jilly was smart enough to make sure she fired up the 50,000-watt radio tonight, and it's making it through the skip just fine. SWL 25, and at the microphone just moments ago, SWL 74. Thanks for checking in on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you, Dennis. Rosie Kahalu.
That takes me over to shortwave listener, or as we say here on the Old Tube Radio Network, SWL 27.
All right. Click.
Over to SWL 28. Gary out of Sacramento. The conditions are a bit long to hear Sacramento, but I would imagine that Sacramento might be hearing some of the same stations that we are hearing in DX. I don't know if you're listening in. Gary says, hello, everyone. 28 is checking in, enjoying the show with dinner and the dinner show, no cover. We'll find out what is for dinner if you happen to jump into the green room tonight. Of course, there's always popcorn up in the balcony, courtesy of the Squamish Boys, and who knows what else you might find here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, Gary, for checking in, and the skip is rolling here in the Central Valley. Got a proxy check-in for SWL 29, and over to SWL 30. Not sure if the conditions are still in, but of course I will get you checked in, Dwayne, because we heard you before the show as well. SWL 30, over.
All right, SWL 30 with the T123B and giving her all she's got, Captain.
Oh man, it's sounding good, and I will get that checked in. So if the conditions aren't happening, we heard the T123B. Take another transmission if you can hear me. We can hear you, so take a transmission on the T123B, over.
Shot there, it's definitely switching polarities here a little bit back and forth, so I don't know if we'll get her done, but we're going to give it a shot. Anyway, good evening to all the SWLs, and good evening, Dennis. Thank you for all you do, and
Great signal through the noise, sounding better than some of the locals. That's Dwayne on the Robin T123B that was, as promised, going to make the trip, and sooner than later is better. So conditions looking good from Idaho. Love the skip contacts here at the beginning of cycle 25. In a couple of years, we may be just talking to the DX stations, and they'll be proxying in the locals. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. We are looking for SWL 31. Which takes me over to the list. See who is listening. Hello to Up in the Balcony, Toll House, New York. Out there in San Bornton, New Hampshire. That was the home of Wayne Green, I think. W1NSD for 73 magazine. The Squamish gang is in tonight. I see you up there making the popcorn. It smells good all the way down here on the at the air chair. The unknown SWL. You see that person with a bag over their head and the rubber duck antenna. That is the unknown SWL. Hello to Bridgeport, West Virginia, as always. From up the smoke below, down the pool below. Blackpool is listening in the early morning hours. Hello to Dallas, Texas, Moncks Corner, South Carolina, Woodland Park, Colorado, up on the hill, up on the big hill listening in. Not sure if we're going to get conditions your way, but it's very, very close. Also, Anoka, Minnesota, Belfast, Maine, Canby, Oregon, coming up to you, and a host of others here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Looking for SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers getting checked in.
Number 4.
And we're even getting the skip where we get the selective fading. You can hear that selective fading going on as the signals rotate polarity, and also on the AM, as we lose one of the sidebands in the carrier, you hear what sounds like sideband as the selective fading decides what we are going to listen to. Looking for SWL 34.
The old Macmillan warehouse, you drive straight up that road. Straight up.
And Chrissy, I agree. Dwayne did sound great on your Robin T123. Over to SWL 35, who was also listening for a little bit longer conditions tonight. He's out in Cheyenne, Wyoming, Bill. And Red Monkey Communications checking in the Old Tube Radio Network. He's made the trip a couple of times here on the last cycle 24. I expect to be hearing a lot of Bill and his Cheyenne station here on cycle 25. Over to SWL 36.
When you fall over there, we'll be chilling over here at the party, so stop on by.
SWL 37.
SWL 37. Good evening, Dennis. Bye-bye, 7.
And good evening, Chris. So we've got you checked in, sounding good here in Midtown Fresno tonight.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. We'll be out and listening. Over.
All right. I don't think you use that radio on AM much, but check your carrier level because that radio is not happy. But I hear you. All right. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, Chris, your audio is down.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Hello, is that better? You guys got all good. We just chilling.
Yeah, it's better. Just had too much carrier, and the radio said, "That's if you want carrier, we'll give you carrier. You want carrier and some audio, we'll give you that too." Thanks, Chris.
Okay, we know I don't get on AM too often on this radio here. All right, anyway, we're out.
Out and sounding good. The Old Tube Radio Network, the directed net roll call, the SWLs, the glow-in-the-dark classic radios coming up after the roll call. Looking for SWL 38. Uh-oh, was that? I thought I heard someone say 35. I'm listening. Is that 35 over? All right, I'll listen. I could have sworn I heard a 35 in there. Let's try SWL 39. Yeah, that's it. Hello, Cheyenne, Wyoming, SWL 35. I'll put you back up on the board right there. Right there. Where are you? Right over there. SWL 35, Cheyenne, Wyoming. The crew from Red Monkey Communications doing a great job here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Over.
Evening time, Bill.
Yeah, nice to hear Mr. Bill in there, huh?
And hello, Bill from the Tower of Power.
Hello, Bill from downtown Bowdendale Control, 650.
And 650, where you're in there, I'm going to get you checked in. And I'm sure Bill is probably hearing all the big stations down here tonight.
Copy that, Dennis. Thank you.
We copy a lot of stations. I don't know where everybody is. Who's that calling for 33? Well, I'll keep the roll call going, leave enough space for people to jump in. Looking for SWL 40. SWL 41. That's Mr. Road Dog. I'll look for him on the list right there, checking in. 41 from the Hudson Valley, New York. Sorry, you're not in the skip zone tonight. You're gonna have to move about 1,500 miles to your left, I think. But we hear you on the big page. So thanks for checking in tonight on a late night check-in here on the Old Tube Radio Network. 41.
Hey, yeah, Roger. Yes, you can, man. Hey, Twister, you call me.
SWL 42.
I got Twister about a Rose Bowl.
Yeah, Proxy 42 in.
All right, putting 42 in the gang on the proxy check-in. SWL 43.
You out there in Hawaii?
I'll get a check-in for Crazy Eddie. Probably out there, maybe a little conditions a little bit rough here locally.
Yeah, break.
Also, SWL 44.
No, Roger, no get back. Eagle 1, big out in Hawaii, back in the back.
And Mr. Bill in there saying he's hearing us in Fresno, hearing all the Fresno stations tonight. Bill, we're hearing you as well. Paul, SWL 45. Paul, I'm checking you in. If you're listening in, Paul, you are checked in 45. Over.
Can't hear you. Hawaii wipes you out completely. But I'll be listening to you. I'll be
Okay, no problem, Paul. We got you checked in. You're actually sounding pretty good down the hill here tonight, as are all the stations from near and far out on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 46.
In the back,
I'm getting 46 checked in. Heard him last night on the Ditch Banks sideband net from Chowchilla. SWL 47. 47 does a lot of traveling. Maybe he's in the skip zone tonight. SWL 48. Shortwave listener 49. If you're listening, Smitty, Brian, I'm going to get you checked in. I heard you before we started the net, and your radio, I agree with what Dennis said. Sounding great tonight. So, Brian, you and Sweet Country Mama are checked in. Over.
Hello, Miyagi. I hear you. Hello, Mr. Miyagi. Buzz Monkey. You coming to the burrito, Mr. Miyagi?
SWL 50.
Oh, yeah, sure. You betcha. Hit me here today.
5 is putting out enough juice to get over the hacks and trash. We appreciate the check-in, and we're waving all a good evening. Thank you, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis. Checked in.
Okay, thanks, Brian. We got you checked in. Heard you just fine on the replay. Also, SWL 50, who never has to worry about the skip. He just kind of opens the door and shouts down there. And who was the other station checking in? Over? Well, I do see 51 Dave out in Sanger, who is listening to all the skip, and probably not the Old Tube Radio Network. We're getting covered up, but Dave 305, I got you checked in from the big page here. Over to SWL 52. Let's see if Mr. Belair can hear my micro milliwatted mismodulated midtown machine. SWL 53. Hello, Mr. Belair.
Hello there, Dennis. You got 53 in the legend. Belair checking in. Hello.
All right, you are a legend on the Universal Media Netweb here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Forever, indeed. We got you checked in.
Thank you there, Dennis. Have a good one. All right. Tell him I said hi.
The band is pretty much wide open. Cheyenne, Idaho, Cheyenne, Wyoming, up there in Idaho. Who knows? I think we heard Oregon in a little bit earlier. Getting a check-in for SWL 54. SWL 55. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
You know, sometimes ground wave can be a good thing. Indeed it is. Sounding good, Phil, as always, and we got you checked in. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's glowing in the dark here in Central California, doing what we do best. The SWL roll call, Old Tube Radio check-ins coming up. We are streaming live at oldtuberadio.net and also a video where you will get to see some of those great classic radios on your YouTube Old Tube Radio Network page. Let's go to SWL 57. 57 is Mr. Brown Dog Audio in Central Kentucky, probably firing up the internet keyboard right now. Over to SWL 58. Not sure they can hear me in Biola. I'm going to get Jeremy checked in. He's probably just back from his trip. I heard him on the Ditch Banks FM net earlier talking to Rick, and he was sounding good. Still chipper after flying back and forth. So, Jeremy, you are checked in. Over to SWL 59. SWL 60.
Hello.
SWL 60.
Shot there and see if you got a copy on this. SWL 60. We're checking in this Connex Saturn CX33 SSB.
The SSB is sounding good on AM. Big signal coming into Midtown, and we've got you checked in, no problem. 60 over.
Oh, I appreciate that. I was wondering if I could get over it. Have a fine one.
No problem. I could probably hear you even if you just had the regular unamplified microphonium on there. Sounding good, and we've got you checked in.
I was leaving them. Have a good one. Check, 13. Yeah, always sounding good, Audie.
Over to, and I may need a relay on this one, SWL 61.
You doing your thing, my man. Have a good one. 050, 13 Audi, right on the coastline. Bye-bye.
SWL 61.
61, check it out.
61 sounding good. 61 sounding good. Thanks for checking in. Over.
No, both, man. You're doing the same right back, man. You're the same word, man.
SWL 62. SWL 63. 63, Mr. Butterbean in North Georgia, checked in on the old radio tonight. And we'll get Mr. Butterbean checked in as well.
141, shaka, bye-bye. Man. Have a good one.
I heard an eagle keying up there. SWL 64. And we start glowing in the dark. We'll take check-ins from anybody, anywhere on those tube radios for sure. SWL 65.
Good, Doc. 9 bingo. Top of the afternoon.
All right, I heard 65 in there through the noise. Hello, Eric. 65 is checked in. Over.
Right, 13. Bye.
SWL 66.
The what? What?
And my guess is if he had a radio hooked up, we'd probably hear this guy. He might be hearing us in Canby, Oregon tonight. SWL 67. Hello, Bill. Oh, we've got you checked in. Over. All right. Somebody's going to hear 67 out there, Bill, in Canby, Oregon, listening in. The guy with the keys. Let me in the door again this evening. Let's go to SWL 68. SWL 69. Kenny in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Kenny, we are checking you in. I know you're watching the video. You can hear the skip is happening. Mr. Bill was in. We've got our stations, Dwayne and Chrissy from Idaho. And doggone it, a little bit better conditions. We might actually hear Tulsa, Oklahoma. But we will get you checked in and look for your comments on the Facebook page. Over.
No squeals in the deals. That'll be we give a nice swing to your team.
Over to SWL 70. And just a reminder, if you can't get checked in or you can't hear me or I can't hear you, you can check in later when the skip might be a little bit easier to get through. Let's see. Who'd I call? SWL 70.
Sounding good. Well.
SWL 71. That is Stan. Let me see if... Probably have to refresh the page if he is out there tonight. I have not been listening in on the amateur radio side. I don't know what contests are on. I did turn it on earlier today, and I didn't hear anything on 40, and 20 was really weak. So at least from my QTH, conditions were not that great on the HF band this morning, although I have a feeling that things probably got a little bit better. Let's go over to SWL 72.
I heard you talking to him. Marlo Brass, I got him checked in. Boy, found the mobile.
SWL 73. As you heard moments ago, or do the replay, SWL 74, making it in fine style with only 49,999 watts tonight. Over to SWL 75.
Audio.
SWL 77.
Well, what an exciting evening, and it was really awesome actually hearing Chrissy through my two-way communicator and hearing Bill. What a bonus. 73 is to all the listeners far and wide, and man, this has just been a great night. 77 on the good old Tower of Power, checking in.
Yeah, you've got the equipment there tonight. Put the, I don't know what the heading would be, 15 degrees, 30 degrees on the Beamerino, and then dial your polarity of choice. It's moving around, so maybe the 45-degree angle will work. Thanks for keying down and making the Central Valley do full quieting in just about everywhere else. You are sounding good and you're checked in.
And thank you.
Yeah, we got a couple of the big stations keying up with us tonight that pretty much probably put some full quieting sound in the DX mode tonight, and that is one of them right there. Let's go to SWL 78.
Break OTR.
And 78 is a little close on the skip. I heard him on 40 meters this week, so I will give Richard a check-in. I was going to try and contact him, and the conditions just weren't good. You needed a lot more power than I had. Who is the break OTR? Go ahead, over. Probably getting covered up. I heard a break OTR in there.
Check, 328. I got him, Big Island.
The break OTR, go ahead.
Rate check-in for 55, please. I got a lot of static up here.
All right, thank you, M&M. Let him know, Dennis.
Yeah, we got you, M&M 73.
Oh, thank you. I can't hear Dennis at all. Thank you. 141 in a minute.
You can't hear the basic, Dennis. But that Tower of Power, Dennis, not only they hear him in Shaver Lake, he's sounding good in Canby, he's sounding good in Cheyenne, he's sounding good in Boise, and who knows where else. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glow in the Dark, coming right up after the roll call, looking for SWL 79.
I'm not sure if they got Freedom Bend a week left. 79 in a stateside 141. I thought I heard that boy fall in my ring.
And let's go over to SWL 80, 80.
Oh, yeah, man.
And let's see, before we turn the page all the way, let me see. I think it is time. I'm looking over there. Just everybody's having a good time with the skip land here tonight. Maybe we can check in perhaps with the Bob and Steve show.
27.085 OTR, channel 11.
The Old Tube Radio Network, Central California. The Jingle Singers would like to thank and honor all the armed forces for our country on land sea, and air, keeping us safe every day. Thank you. I second that, and third that, and fourth that to all our armed forces out there. Thank you to the Jingle Singers. The Jingle Singers also are taking all the kids from the neighborhood. So that is what was going on. All right. I thought maybe there was a preschool down in the green room tonight. Anyway, Jingle Singers taking all the kids from the neighborhood in the limo to the city park for a picnic today. We got a lot of good parks here in Fresno: Woodward Park, Roding Park, Kearney Park, and right near me, right near the location here, is a great little secret park. So they're probably at that one. They probably got that park all to themselves. So the picnic, I'm sure, was good. It was a great day. It wasn't even 80 degrees. So like 77, just a perfect day for a picnic. And they will all, of course, be back in time to watch the Preakness horse race on the big screen. I think they're actually out there betting. They're placing their bets now. No, not really. In the green room tonight, hey, they waxed the Buick. I noticed that the cover, I have a cover, it kept blowing off. That's why. It was so aerodynamically slick with the new wax job on the Riviera. And they fed the fish, so we don't have to forget to feed them because they're already fed. At the bar tonight, from the great state of Maryland and Chesapeake Bay, blue crabs, seasoning, steamed oysters, clams, redfish, sea bass, and mussels. So if you're a seafood kind of person, you can see the food and eat it all. The coffee is on Bob and Steve tonight. Thank you, gang. And thanks to everyone and all the shortwave listeners for being on the net tonight. Have a great week from the Bob and Steve Show here on 27085.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
Continuing the roll call, page 4, the tube radios are not far off. SWL 81, Steve Areno checked in early. Chatted with him tonight, and he checked in early. He said all is well up that way in the secret location. Steve, if you're listening, we got you checked in. Over to SWL 82. I get 82 checked in. Ron was he was working the skip earlier. In fact, he wasn't working the skip. They were working him. He was just trying to have a chat, a local chat, and the stations just kept breaking for him. Said, hey, who is that guy? So he was doing pretty good on the unintentional skip tonight. Ron, we got you checked in. Over to shortwave listener 83. I'll have to check. I'm not sure if I heard 83 on tonight on Old Radio Night. Who else is out there? I see Levon. He's out there waving a hand tonight. Out there, Rainmaker in the Hudson Valley. Levon, we got you checked in. Looking good on the Old Radio Night tonight. Smarty Jones, of course. Our stations from New York always staying up late with us tonight. Maybe they're the ones that turn on the skip switch. Who else is in there? Dave, we got you checked in earlier. Dr. Evil is checking in tonight, listening in. Hello to Paul Williams. Paul is out there listening. The Old Radio, Old Tube Radio Network. Speaking of Old Tube, the old-timey radio station is also tuning in on the YouTube page. Who else? Others, anonymous but great. The Old Tube Radio Network on the directed net roll call. And SWL 57, Mr. Brown Dog Audio, not too late at all. As you can hear, the skip is running hot and heavy tonight. I'm putting an X in the square for WWS 1942 from Central Kentucky.
Hello.
I have to take a breath. I think the skip is getting bigger. We are past our gray line, but the gray line is heading towards the mini grass. So look for that to be chopping in here in just a moment. SWL 84, I will get a check-in for 84 and all the group.
Checked in, Mickey Mouse, check.
Over to SWL 85.
Back, 820 with the weave, hello.
And then, of course, SWL 86, SWL 87, and SWL 88, the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl, respectively.
We got you checked in, check.
And we got the checked in. You can get your check-ins. We're streaming live at oldtuberadio.net here on the West Coast, the Old Tube Radio Network. 36 years, and we've made it through a couple cycles, 25, 24, 23, 22. They all look good. Let's do SWL 89.
Yeah, 050, you watch that, Beyond the Ring.
And just a reminder, if you're listening in from wherever you are and have one of those glow-in-the-dark tube radios, in moments we'll be asking for radio check-ins. This is not a club. There's no secret handshake. We do not pay dues. But we do like to hear the tube radios, so fire them up. Coming up in a few minutes. Over to SWL. We got a check-in for SWL 90. And let's see, the first guy on the video tonight, making sure that the lenses were clean on the camera. Looking good. SWL 91, Felix. Sounding good. Near out of the Bronx, New York, where it's probably super quiet on 27085. But Felix, as you can hear, it is rocking and rolling here in Central California tonight. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for your help on getting the video started. Over to SWL 92. We're putting a check-in. We've got a check-in for SWL 93, Louis.
Yeah, good one. All right.
Over to SWL 95.
Right back, Sacramento.
And the Smith family tonight eating some bison burgers. That goes well with our check-in from Bill, Mr. Bill in Cheyenne, Wyoming tonight, SWL 35. Probably has a bison burger going as well and enjoying the Old Tube Radio Network. And they're all waving a hand, saying hello from Old Missouri. And we'll say hello right back. Thanks for tuning into the network tonight. Over to SWL 97. SWL 97, Boston 97. I was just looking at some pictures from my one and only trip to Boston about 5 years ago. And there was this place. I think it was a very fancy restaurant in the old downtown area. I think it was called Moo, or M-O-O-O-O, or something like that. But I had to take a picture of it because I had a friend who's an editor of a dairy magazine. I said, you need to come to Boston and go to the Moo. 97. Jim, you are sounding good. We've got you checked in. Let's head up the list and go back to SWL 34, Mr. Roeder, and little Toot is there. Where is the whistle? What happened to it? It's underneath all this. Oh, here it is. Underneath all this stuff. And I have to say, I have not been practicing. I just, if you want to be good at something, you got to practice. Here we go. Jimmy, who does a great job with the Old Tube CB Radio Network et al. All those great Facebook family-friendly pages. Here we go. It is not as easy as you think here. You know what needs work? It's got dual whistles, and you have to hit them right to get. It's a little train, right? We're looking for a bigger train. Anyway, Jimmy, we got you checked in here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
That's way hot.
Gives me something to do. That's why I play string instruments. Never good at the woodwinds. Let's try SWL, who's next? 99.
What I did yesterday, but at least you woke up early enough.
And that is Mr. Tentmaker. Robert, if you're hearing me, you probably aren't, but if you are, you're checked in, and if you're not, you're checked in. Yeah, 2 longs and a short. It's like a cue, huh? It's like, let me do this again. Something like that. It's almost like a CWQ. The old style ones. I'm watching Jimmy's videos where steam engines do it right. The smoke, that's my idea, is a little smoke, a little steam coming out of that thing. It'll be more accurate. Let's try, where are we going? Oh, SWL 100. Tony, I'm going to jump into the Echo link here if I'm on the right thing. So if you're listening on the delay, let me see if Tony is listening in on the Echo link from KB6GFD. Take it away, Tony. Over.
Yeah, radio right now.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Thanks for having me. 84BAO.
All right, we've got you checked in. As you can hear, it is rocking and rolling for the short hop skip tonight. Not sure what you guys had in your area, but sounding good on the 23 Skidoo Echo link at node 354870. And no doubt Tony is standing by on various radios in his very well-equipped Radio Shack. Got you checked in. Thanks. KAB6GF. Director Dent roll call is where we are at the old Tube Radio Network. And we are going to be checking in those radios shortly, so don't go away. Over to SWL 103. SWL 109. Starting to get the gray line from the mini grass here in the Alohas tonight. SWL 110. SWL 111, Robert was in earlier and had the noise level even before the skip of S7 and S9. Robert, that was a good noise level. You don't know how lucky you were, because I guarantee your noise level isn't S9 at the moment. Over to SWL 113.
What's up, there, Black Knight? Digo 1, back in the back.
And over to Rickshaw, SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Wow, sounding good over Skipland tonight. You sounded great last night on the Ditch Banks sideband net, and we've got you checked in tonight.
Needle, man. You just answered. Black Knight. Excellent. Good, Black Knight. We have a good evening.
Let's head over to shortwave listener SWL, digital SWL 128. That, of course, is a longtime listener from Fairfax, Virginia, John, who is probably on my page. If I scroll down, checking in, gosh, well over almost an hour ago when the net started. We've got you checked in. As you can hear, we've got a little bit of, I should tune in the 10-meter beacons and see. I bet the 10-meter beacons are roaring in tonight. We'll have to see. We've got you checked in. I don't know what's happening on the amateur stuff. Like I said, it was just really awful when I was listening to 20 meters earlier, so I have a feeling that I had some solar activity of the wrong kind. Over to SWL 131. All right, I hear you out there in Clovis, Mr. Rude, and we've got you checked in. Over.
Quiet.
SWL 133.
111, a little late.
Oh, 111. Hey, if you can hear me, I got you checked in. You sounded good early, and you're sounding great now. Over.
147.
Unless he's in Skipland. 111, Robert, you are sounding good. Yeah, I bet they're hearing you in Hawaii. You've got a big signal here into Central California. And Mr. Prune Picker, SWL 96. I see. If I missed you, I noticed I didn't put an X in there out there in Kerman. Thank you, Dennis. How can I miss Dennis? How could I miss a Dennis? Anyway, I'll check you in twice. I'll give you 2 X's in the square, and let me pop your number up just to make it official right there. 96, Mr. Prune Picker, a long-time voice of Central Valley CB. Thanks, Dennis. Okay, we had 131 and 133, Dave. I bet you're there. SWL 133. I'm checking you in, Dave. Over. Over to SWL 135.
SWL SWL 135 checking in. Am I making it through?
No problem. Over.
Groovy and out.
Yeah, it's weird. All of a sudden, the frequency just got very quiet. So maybe we're losing our north-south skip, and we're not quite in the pineapple gray line. Thanks, Cliff. Over to SWL 137. Up to Tony. It's going to be rough, Tony. SWL 145.
You got that right. Definitely rough and tough this evening. 145 checking in.
All right, Tony, I hear you just fine. It's sort of got a nice lull in the skip action. And for some reason, I'm still not able to link up to that Echolink station for the morning net. I have a feeling I'm doing something wrong, but it used to just come right in. So I'm going to try a different device next time. Maybe it's my device doesn't like it. But you are sounding good tonight, and we've got you checked in.
So you can always try to handy talk you on the 147180. Just remember the PR 146.2.
Yeah, I've got the base radio, where is it, right here, and I think with the vertical, I should be able to do that no problem. So maybe that's another way. Well, there are always plenty of ways to listen in, so I will do that. Thanks for checking in tonight.
Dennis, I appreciate you thinking about us anyway. It was rough and tough on my end. I'm back to you.
All right, 73, and thanks for checking in. Gary, they're talking to you in Sacramento. They're looking for Sacramento stations. I'm talking to Gary out there. He's in Sacramento, probably hearing the same things we are. SWL 147 already checked in, and what is going on in Kakalaki tonight? He said occasional conditions this past week comes in and out. As you can hear, that's what's happening right in the Central Valley tonight. Weather good and forecast 90-plus for this week, 73s from the JGQ. We are in the 70s and 80s. Just great weather, but that ain't going to last. Thanks, Neil. Let's see if we can get some local conditions from Jason, SWL 188.
Evening time, Dennis. 188 Snow Beast Jr. checking in.
All right, no problem hearing you at all. Full quieting at the control point here tonight, and we have you checked in.
10-4, thank you. And real quick, it's Bobby, not Jason.
Okay, I don't know how that got in there, so I'm going to fix that right now. All right, thanks for the update, and you are checked in.
10-4, thank you.
North Dakota, from North Dakota, or however you type it there, King Duckford. 583 Duckford is waving a hand. We talked to Cheyenne, which is not too far down the road from where you guys are. I'm waiting for the 10-meter AM to jump in. There's a station, and I'm not even sure if he's still around. It's been so long since I talked to him out in North Dakota that I always catch on 10-meter AM. I talked to him mobile on his converted 10-meter radio up on the AM window. So looking forward to some North Dakota DX. Thanks, King Duckford, for that. Popcorn 913 is helping us out, getting the popcorn distributed. If you see the handsome dude with the bags of popcorn, tell them that OTR sent you and grab one. He will be okay with that. Let's try SWL 195. Hello, Jim, up in Coarsegold.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, you sounding good in our neighborhood too, man. You doing your thing, we're doing our thing. I got number 3 in my radio. Digger 1, number 3, back in the bag. Hello.
I heard a train whistle. I heard Hawaii, and I think I heard Coarsegold. We got you checked in, Jim. Over.
Thank you much, Dennis.
All right, 73. We say that on radio occasionally. And I'm also going to check in SWL 226, Mr. Three-Wheeler up there in Mariposa, who sounded good on the sideband net. I'll stand by for anybody that might want to catch in here in the next couple of minutes on checking in. I'll just be listening, and then we'll be ready for the tube radios. OTR standing by listening.
Well, since it's the end of roll call, 650 is going to chime in and say, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
And we will be here along with whatever Skipland is happening.
10-4, Dennis. Have a good one.
Hello, Night calling you, man. Digger 1 back on the side.
And hello from Central California, the Old Tube Radio Network, live streaming at oldtuberadio.net. The YouTube video is up and running, and we will be talking to Tube Radios in moments. If you've got one, get it warmed up. We'll be talking with you. The Old Tube Radio Network.
Hello, 61 Sidewinder. Digger 1, Big Island, Hawaii. I got 61 in my radio. Break.
And we'll be back in a moment, getting set up for the Tube Radios.
Hey, tell Spaceman Digger 1 waving a hand. Hey, tell Spaceman Digger 1 go wave the hand back in the back. Hello.
Hey, Spaceman, look around Hawaii, man. Never mind your neighbors out there. Spaceman, you're 510 on the Big Island. Spaceman, 510, break.
Hey, wake 'em up there, 510, wake 'em up.
Check, man. Hey, Spaceman, never mind your neighbors out there on the Big Rock, man. Look at the little islands out here. Spaceman, you're 510 in the mini crash. Now, bring up. Never mind, Sidewinder, Spaceman. It's 510. Spaceman, break.
Roger that on the cool 808 breakers. Digger 1 back in the bag.
Spaceman, 510. Big Island, bring up.
Hey, Spaceman, Digger 1, Big Island, Hawaii. Spaceman, Digger 1, Big Island, Hawaii. Hello. Hey, roger that, man. Spaceman, we got it all when you said it all, man. You got it all, man. You're saying in Hawaii. Digger 1, Spaceman, we're waving a hand. Hello.
All right, the Old Tube Radio Network. I think I'm set up. I almost forgot what I'm supposed to do, and that is to check in the glow-in-the-dark radios here on the Saturday night place to be, the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
RADIO is what we do best here on the Old Tube Radio Network. 36 years, thanks to you and your classic collections, taking time out on Saturday evenings to add to the 21st century what it sounded like way back when, in the 1960s and the 1970s, when there was no Facebook, there was no social media. Your telephone had a dial on it and it sat on the table, and you were keying up and listening to the CB radio. And we're going to do that tonight. OTR is standing by.
135.
I'm trying to get Spaceman out there. Spaceman in an 18-wheel mobile.
All right, we've got outer space stations, but I did hear a 135. Hello, Mr. Green Arrow. If you can copy me, I'm hearing you fine. Over.
And I copy you just fine, and I copy the Spaceman in the mini grass. I don't think I've ever said those words before. Anyway, time to check in.
It is time to check in right at the top of the hour here. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start it all off then. From beautiful downtown Burbank, California, this is the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. 24-channel radio, but only 9 tubes. Back to you.
24 channels, but only 9 tubes. Still works out. I've got a picture, and this is a treat because we see this picture a lot. If you are listening at 27085, you hear the radio. If you're listening or tuning in at oldtuberadio.net, you scroll to the top of the page, we've got a video or a video item. Try to put the radios on as they check in, and of course, the live video at YouTube. We've been showing this radio for years, and the radio you are hearing is actually the one in the picture. This doesn't happen that often, over.
37. Yeah, you can just wait a minute, Chris. I'm checking in mine. You've been after me to check this one in. You got to let me do it now. The microphone here is the General Charlie Mike -3, the General CM3 handheld plastic non-amplified microphone, which I think is all this thing needs. We waving. Okay, when I push it in, it sounds like no fun. I still am not sure what it does. The automatic noise limiter works really, really well. Distant, local, I always keep it on distant. And of course, we're on glowing green channel 11. But Harvey, well, no, he's not here right now, is he? If you happen to know, please tell me, and if not, let Chris tell us what the NF, that's November Foxtrot tone, stands for. I always call it no fun tone. I can't remember what it really means. Tough, man.
Yeah, the NF tone. Let me see if I get the extreme close-up. Chris, you're going to be, Christopher, you're going to be radio number 2. Just zoomed into the front panel, got the volume, got the in-out, NF tone, in and out, the distance, local range, bullhorn radio. Of course, you're not in the bullhorn, although maybe you are. It sounds like you're talking pretty good. There's the green channel 11. That has been discussed, and we have had an answer before, and I'm not remembering. I'm also not remembering the NF tone. I will head it back to you.
I'll let 510 know. As long as I'm still making it through, if I'm still making it through, I remember somebody brought it up last year, but my brain is not functioning properly anymore. I need to get a new one. But I'm still looking around on eBay trying to find the best deal on a decent brain. I just can't remember what it stands for, but I know when I poke it in, everybody goes narrow, and it doesn't sound very good, but it does help with noisy situations, just not with fidelity. You know, if you leave it out, the fidelity's better. Same thing with the ANL, it's automatic noise limiter. I seem to be able to remember that one. But yeah, just in case Chris or anybody else remembers, try to remind this tired old brain what the NF stands for.
I think it's an MT, muffled tone. It muffles it down, but there's hardly any there.
Or as Cliff said, it narrows the frequency. So we'll call it the narrow frequency tone. How about that?
See, now that makes sense. I like no fun better, but narrow frequency makes sense because it does make everybody narrow.
I was looking at it, I thought it was an M. It's an N. I got my glasses on.
Yeah, keep your eyeballs open, Chris.
Try.
Well, he's on channel 11, so he's doing okay. As long as he has his tuned to channel 11, everything is working well. The general radio telephone, you're hearing it from the general radio telephone Super MC11A from beautiful downtown Burbank by way of Fresno, California. The radio that we're looking at, if you're at oldtuberadio.net or on the video, is the actual radio that is transmitting. I'm not sure if it's in the same operating position, but doing great. As Cliff mentioned, 9 tubes. It's got a mic, the preamp at 12AX7, which you find in a lot of audio gear, and then the great, General Radio Telephone figured out. I think it was on the MC9, maybe it was MC8, MC9 with that ECLL 800 in the transmitter output to get you some punch. You can find out more about it if you've got a Sam's Photofax CB22, page 45. And somewhere it says there's 2 transistors in there, so I think that's probably for some type of 12-volt DC conversion. Back to you.
Yeah, it is. That's all those transistors are for, is if you go in mobile and hook it up to your car, those things kick in. Otherwise, I don't know that they really do anything here in the 117-volt mode. Anyway, since everybody knows this radio back and forth, I'll let it go, and I'll listen to Chris's, because I think his is louder than mine. Thanks for letting me check it in there, Dennis. See ya.
All right, and thanks for checking it in. Our radio historian, 23 Skidoo, went to the files, the big Rolodex, spinning the Rolodex as the dust went flying, and came up with this. So grab your Post-it pencil paper, and the NF tone is called noise. We were close. Noise filter tone switch. According to the manual, it provides treble attenuation and noise filtering. So that's the worst of both worlds, is because the treble, the high frequency is basically where, as Mr. Heil would say, where your articulation is. So it kills that, and it also puts in some type of noise filtering. So what I would say what you would use it for is, like right now, if you were just monitoring and not really wanting to talk to anybody, it would, as you say, muffle all the shh kind of stuff. And then when you were in your QSO, in your conversation, you would disengage the NF, and then you would get the mellifluous sounds of a net control. Back to you for any comments, and then we'll pick up a radio too.
I'm back. Okay, so wait, let me get this straight. So it's not narrow frequency. It's oh blast! I've already forgotten it. What? One more time.
Well, it does narrow frequency, but the official name is NF, Noise Filter Tone Switch. Provides treble attenuation, so there's probably a chart somewhere where it's rolling off, from 3,500 hertz or whatever the roll off is, and maybe some noise. It says noise filter. I don't know if that's a noise blanker or what they would do, but it is noise filter tone switch rolling off the high frequency.
Okay, so noise filter. Yeah, it's still going to be tough for me to remember that, I think, because it's got the automatic noise limiter and a noise filter. It seems a bit redundant, but thanks so much for the information. I can never keep that straight.
All right, and I'm sure we have been told that before. So thanks to Mr. 23 Skidoo for pulling out the Rolodex and letting us know here on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, radio number 1 tonight. And I'm going to, just because I'm not quite psychic, but I'm going to leave that radio up in the box here, up in that box, and we're going to take radio number 2. Hello, Chris.
And hello, Dennis. About time you checked that in, Cliff. Anyway, yes, when you do kick that on, it does drop way down your signal. It filters it, barely, it takes them way down. But anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my General Radio telephone, the Super MC11A. 24 channels, that's what it says, like he said, 24 channels. And we are running this here with the original handheld stock microphone. Over.
All right, as was Mr. Green Arrow, I'm going to switch the picture. We'll actually have, I guess it's a schematic. Let me see. Maybe let me put it up. It's probably not going to play too well on the screen. Yeah, it's very blurry, but there you can see the tubes. All right, let me go. I'll go back to the picture here. So, yeah, I think the deal is on your NF tone. Let's say you're warming up the radio, and you just don't want to have all that noise. You put in that, put your NF tone in, and it will mellow things down a bit. But you got to remember to take it out, right, when you're actually talking to somebody.
Well, it doesn't make, well, yeah, it only messes with your receive. It doesn't do anything on the transmit. And the same way with the distance and local, you hit that switch down to local, it drops it way down. But you're not filtering out, it just lowers the carrier, and it's not as loud. It's like a tuning knob to turn the volume down almost, but it's not, it's a switch. And then, of course, the distance A&L, that makes a big difference in and out. So, but yes, anyway, that's the way mine works anyway. And like I said, this one here's mine. It's just as good as his.
Yeah, but this one's mine.
But this one is mine.
And you guys are almost the same signal strength. Chris, I think that radio over the time has actually gained about 5 dB on my S meter. It really likes being checked in on Saturday evenings. The General Radio Telephone Super MC11, I just wonder how many of those they sold. Do we have all of them here in the Central Valley? There aren't that many around, and it's a prized possession for the stations on the East Coast to get to this West Coast radio that always sounds good. The Super MC12s and Super MC11s and 11s A's. Good deal. In fact, they're enjoying it in South Korea. Korea's cool is watching in tonight, stopping by to say hello before he steps out. So get some good radio, some good audio. We're getting some skip in from Hawaii and other places. The cloud has moved. Dwayne said that he's now hearing Sacramento and Southern California, Northern California, and Central California has gone away. But with these two radios, I know you guys are being heard somewhere. Chris, take another transmission. Thanks for bringing it by.
Absolutely. Well, this thing's been running for over an hour, so I just put my hand on top of it. I'll tell you what, I could cook a hot dog up there.
This is the hot dog cooking frequency. Just make sure you have plenty of the heavy-duty aluminum foil.
Oh, most definitely. Don't want that grease to drip down there. All right, this was mine, and that one was his, so, and we've got them both together, so there we go.
And that is a good thing. All right, I'm going to say, I hope we're still streaming. I've lost the stream on the other computer, but it looks like everything is up and running. I don't see any red flashing lights, so thanks for bringing by the Generals tonight, and they are definitely out in front right now. Maybe we will get some stations from afar here on the Old Tube Radio Network, Central California, streaming live audio at oldtuberadio.net, and we are looking for tube radios, those classic tube radios to check in. Anyone is welcome to check in.
And thank you, Dennis. I'm back out. I'm watching my movie now.
All right, thanks for your radio check-in. And 60, step up into the air chair. You will be radio number 3. And while I have the transmitter keyed here, what I'm going to do is what I should have done earlier was our sponsor tonight. I noticed the pocket protector was a little bit empty. In fact, it was a lot bit empty. And tonight we are being sponsored by Mesa Discount. High quality, lowest prices. You can find them at 456 West Main in Mesa, Arizona. They carry quality Zenith products from Mesa Discount. And there it goes into the pocket protector. I'm official now. I'm ready to take your check-in. Go ahead.
Thank you much, Dennis, and doggone it. I hope we're transmitting. Are we transmitting?
You are transmitting in fine style. Over.
Oh, thank you much, sir. We'd like to check in our 10 to our messenger, Johnson Messenger 223 on the original stock mic.
Original microphonium on the original radio. One of the big sellers, one of the companies, E.F. Johnson, that got a lot of people into the Class D radio, whether it was the Johnson Viking Messenger back in 1959. 3 versions of that, 6-volt, 12-volt, 115-volt AC. The Messenger 2, which was an upgraded version with more channels. And then your final upgrade with everything. They didn't hold back. They put in all 23 channels, an S-meter. The only thing they didn't do is make it go mobile, because at that time they were starting to make smaller solid-state mobile radios that they thought worked better, but they still knew they had a good thing going with the base radio. And you've got one. Take a transmission.
I agree on all that, Dennis. I agree on all of it. Yeah, it's not mobile. It sure is all base. All what it shows here on the old radio. A nice-looking meter, a selector, 23 channels, and you had your little combination of, your squelch and your volume. Of course, your squelch turned your radio off and on, and your volume, of course, gave you more volume. Other than that, it had no modulation light. The microphone didn't have a battery on it. Definitely stock, and the back end was just solid seal closed, just the AC cord. But other than that, we appreciate it, and we appreciate you letting us check it in.
That is my job. When I signed up to do this, it said your goal is to check in any and all tube radios that come by, and you are number 3 tonight with the classic Messenger 223 from E.F. Johnson, who was no stranger to radios, whether they were the true boat anchors of their transmitters. The Johnson, they used to have a Ranger and a Viking 1 and a Viking 2, radios that weighed 75 or 80 pounds, and that was just for the transmitter, or their Class D styles that you are showing us here tonight, which sound great. I've got the S-meter up. Give us another transmission for those that would like to see what kind of signal you are putting in tonight here in Midtown Fresno.
Thank you much, Hey, yeah, and it's got a great big meter. I appreciate it, looking at it all the time. It doesn't need any illumination. You turned it on, and yep, the old bulbs are glowing. And of course, the ones that are in the old chamber there, the 10 tubes. So everything is glowing in this radio. Thanks a lot, Dennis, and we're waiting on Radio 4.
Okay, as am I. Radio 3, of course, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, sounding very good tonight. Also, Jingle Singers say they're ready to do their thing. I want to say hello to Richard in Wild Wildemar tonight, waving a hand to the old Fire Bottle Radio Network. There are a lot of glowing fire bottles. I don't know what day it was, Richard. I heard you guys on 40 meters, but the band was really weak. The only guy I was hearing, who's net control, Brian, does a good job. I think that's his name. I heard you get on the list, on the roll call list, but then the band faded out, and I think Brian was the only guy that I was hearing on 40 meters, and that's the name of that tune. So, Richard, you are checked in, and over to, I'm trying to get their attention. There are so much fun things going on in the green room. It's always hard to get the Jingle Singers up to the microphonium. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are standing by for radio number 4. Hey, Paul. Yeah, Richard, 100 watts max on 40, and Brian wants 1,500. No wonder. I was figuring as much. Hello, Paul. Can you hear the Old Tube Radio Network? Over.
Well, it's been a long time. I hope we can hang in there long enough to get it in. Had this thing warming up all the time. Never could use it. My general radio telephone, Super MC9.
All right, you got the note. You got the note from the General Radio Telephone crew that it was GRT night. Let me clear the picture and see if I can find the 9. Yeah, it's quieted down here on the valley floor, but I'm sure you are picking up a lot more skip than I am. So I'll try to keep my transmissions short, and we will be listening in for your Super MC9 over.
Yeah, it's off and on. I get you most of the time now. I've watched you on an iPad anyway, but the time's different on listening, so it kind of messes everything up. But anyway, I hope it hangs in there long enough, because you know this is the first one that they came out with a big tube in this, ACL 800 tube, and they had a different modulator on the thing, the whole works. Quite a bit of changes. They said, you've been listening to the 11s. Well, these are just the beginning of the ones that just like the 11s. It started the whole radio at that time. Back to you.
Yeah, in fact, you answered my question. I couldn't remember if it was the 8 or the 9 where they changed the tube. Of course, the 8 sounds, the MC8 sounds good. The Super MC9, of course, sounding good as you are on it. Also, hello to Needlebender 2811 from listening and watching from Sacramento. On the skip zone tonight. The skip zone sort of going from L.A. to Central California to Northern California all around. We can't do the short hop, though. Super MC9, there it is. And that radio, I believe, it says it's from your collection, back out in the flora and fauna when there actually was some flora. I think that's probably pre-drought condition photo there. The MC9 also has 10 tubes. 10 tubes, the ECLL 800, like you said, the first one, the first radio they put that in also has a 12AX7, and it will go 12-volt DC or 115-volt AC. It's in Sam's CB16, book 16, page 39, but what you need to know about it is right here. Take another transmission. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, I lost part of that, which is kind of figured that. But yeah, you said everything right. The only thing you didn't mention was the microphone. It's really a unique microphone with heavy zinc alloy, die-cast in satin chrome, made by Turner. What a mic! It's heavy as a rock. Okay, thanks. Talking to you for been a long time. I'll be listening.
All right, sounds good. Glad we could get a connection coming through tonight, and I've got a good picture of that microphone at the top. Let me go in. You can see it looks like it has the holder on the front. So you run it if you've got a mic holder on that radio somewhere, just hang it on the front. Yeah, it does look heavy, but that radio looks beefy enough with the rack handles and everything else. Radio number 4 from General Radio Telephone. Their Super MC9, probably, I don't have a date on that, but probably in the late 1960s for sure. Still sounding good here in 2021 through the skip. Thanks for bringing it by. And good night to SWL 00 and SWL 30, Dwayne and Chrissy tonight, who we heard checking in live. They timed it just right, just like last time. The DX cloud was right over Central California. It moved, but during roll call, we've got a great check-in. It's on the replay. If you want to hear the audio replay, go to the SWL version of today's stream, or what the beginning of the video where they got us started off in fine style. Hope your internet connectivity comes back. That's why we like the radio, right? Sometimes conditions aren't good, but at least you can usually make a contact, and you never get a bill at the end of the month for the Old Tube Radio Network. We're standing by looking for radio number 5.
Hey, Dennis, am I on the air?
You are on the air everywhere, over.
Thank you much, Dennis. We'd like to check in our Robin 123B. This Robin 23 channel Citizens Band transceiver now is a scotia bit modified, like they used to say there. A scotia bit modified, has a few extra channels in it. But right now we're sitting on channel 11, the place to be. And doggone it, I feel like I'm on the seat of a Porsche with all these buttons in front of me and controls. I just feel like I'm behind the wheel.
I often talk about driving the radio, and you just kind of made the point come home that you do have, when you sit down in front of your tube radio, depending on what you got. I mean, if you have an ICO 756, you turn it on, right? Or the Johnson Viking, you turn it on and figure out the squelch. But then you get to the bigger radio. You get to one like this, and you do have to drive it a little bit, figure it out where it is, and it's only one radio. Imagine what a Browning or a Buddy or one of those multiple pieces radios. But you are good. You are going straight down the road. Back to you.
Oh, we appreciate that. Yeah, we are definitely behind the wheel on this one here. Doggone it. We had it on off position, and with its preheating tubes in there, doggone it, I was able to just turn it on, and it was like turning on a great big motor. And I got to look at it, my switches, and I said, well, my squelch is sitting right, my tune is there, my RF gain is about where it should be, and the meter's telling me, yeah, it's time to go. So this is an 11 tube Robin T123B, Dennis.
And we're going to do the 2-for-1 check-in tonight, because when Chrissy checked in as 00 at the top of the net, she was also on a Robin T123B, one that we heard here locally a few weeks ago, and that had been promised to check in. And so we'll get two check-ins. We've got Radio 5, which is the Robin that checked in earlier, 001030, coming in all from Idaho tonight. So those radios talk. And then, of course, the one here that you were listening to now, the Robin T123B from Mr. Hustler, sounding good, looking good, and putting the Robins in an easy second place tonight. Go ahead.
We thank you, and we had the privilege of talking to her on her Robin. Doggone it, we caught her on the airway, and I was totally surprised. Because that was exactly my thoughts of this radio when I first got it. That you could do what you wanted with it. I love it. I know the owners that have it, they love them. I know they're a little bit behind the time there, but boy, I'm telling you, once you own the radio, hard to part with it. Okay, Dennis, thank you for letting me check in this Robin T123B.
And it is my pleasure and my duty to make sure that all the great radios that want to get checked in do get checked in on what we call the old Tube Radio Network. So it's a good thing to actually have some tube radios to check in. Radio number 6 and radio number 5. Radio number 6 we just heard. Radio number 5 we heard at the top of the net, the Robin T123B. I don't know what the distance is between the two, but probably 1,500 miles or so between the two radios, and they both sounded good. I'm going to have to go back and check what S meter. I'm sure they were getting almost an S9, and you're a 5 to 10 over 9. The old Tube Radio Network is standing by. Band is kind of quieting down, too. You know what? I have a chance. Quieting down, too. Let's see. I'm going to jump into... Let me jump over to the Echo link. Shut down the audio from this, but I'm going to jump over to the Echo link. I think I see X4000. If he's got audio up, we'll get him checked in via Echolink. See what's going on over there. X4000 from KBC GFD.
You guys have a good night. Deal 1, 20 pounder, back in a bag. Aloha.
Oops.
Hello, radio from KN6LW. Yeah, I saw you were in the Echo, so I thought I'd say hello. Over.
I am here. We've got you checked in. Had a really great pass of the space station last night, directly overhead, and that thing moves. The thing actually goes pretty fast. I don't know what the speed is. Was it 15,000 miles an hour? I don't know, but I did not. I think I'll keep an ear out to see if we get any passes while we are on the old Tube Radio Network, and I can maybe dial in their downlink frequency and see if we can get some check-ins that way. Anyway, we've got you checked in, and thanks for what you do. The old Tube Radio Network, 73.
Yeah, very good. I believe I saw that same pass of ISS last night when I was out getting some burgers, so glad you saw it too. Anyway, I'll let you go. KN6LW.
That's it. Get a burger and see the International Space Station. The old Tube Radio Network looking for some tube radios, radio number 7.
Contact.
This is the contact frequency. Go ahead. Over.
Hey, Dennis. Late check-in 70, please. I couldn't get through the mod squad last week. Sorry.
Hey, you've got good timing now because we just had all sorts of. If it wasn't Mod Squad, it was other things. It was good. It's a good skip evening tonight. It's sort of calming down. I know you're probably still hearing it there, but I've got you checked in, and I will get you checked in for last week as well, and I can hear you just fine.
Right on. Thank you, sir. Have a great evening, huh?
Will do. So far, so good. Radios are looking good. The band is looking good. The old Tube Radio Network. John, it's 17,500. Okay, I was thinking 7,500. I remembered the 7 and the 5. But you realize as it's going across the sky, and you're thinking, it's kind of slow. But then you realize, it's so far away. The thing is moving. Also, who is that? Oh, that's Paul saying hello from the Triple Nickel up in BYU. Hawaii coming into their gray line right now, so expect some mini grass check-ins. We are looking for Radio 7.
5, Digo 1. I got you in my radio, 635, Digo 1.
Dennis, do we get 10 maker checked in?
That should be 99, I think. Let me make sure that I've actually put the X in the square. Yes, Robert, we got a check-in for Mr. Tentmaker.
Thank you. Right there, right there. 21 Guam, Digo 1, back in the back. Hey, Roger that. You sounding good, by the way, 21 Guam. You sounding good. 21 Guam, Digo 1, aloha.
And if anyone asks, you are listening to the old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
I detect a Radio 7 at 9:35. Hello, Paul. If you can get me through Hawaii, which is starting to come in, the old Tube Radio Network listening.
Well, I think we'll give it a try again. Won't guarantee anything, but I'm checking in my, excuse me, Browning Raven.
All right, let's add a bird to the mix. The robins have made it through tonight. And indeed, the Brownings had their eagles, but they also had something called the raven. And I'll look through the Rolodex here. And so we can't bring that bird up on the mix. Let's see. It's stated as an advertisement, but I think this is actually your radio. We'll go back to you for a transmission.
Yeah, okay. You got the radio. That's my radio up there, as you see. On the left hand on there, a light flashing real good right now. It's got the large meter on the thing in the center, more or less, and the channel's 23 channels. You can get the 8 channel too, a little less. I don't know why a person would want to do it, but you can get that. That fine-tuned S unit, squelch, and NL, push on the thing, and a volume. That's about it. But it's a real clean radio.
It is, and I believe this was, 1965-ish. And somebody at Browning said, you know what, we really don't have what would be considered a mobile radio. So what they did in the Eagle, let's see, here's the ad. Birds of a feather, the Eagle and the Raven. You can see the size difference. The Eagle, the original R27S23 is a large bird, if you will. The Raven, which probably is very similar inside, is their mobile. Give wings to your CB Communications, the Raven mobile transceiver. Everybody's raving about the new Raven. The transmitter has 100% peak limited plate modulation. Don't you love it? And also optoelectronic automatic compressor. Talks about the receiver. Also, it has a 2 Nuvista cascaded front end and all 23 crystal control, transmit, and receive. No synthesizing. 12 tubes, 19 functions plus 2 transistors and 9 diodes. Only 4 inches high, almost 11 inches wide, and 8 inches deep. So their mobile radio sounding good tonight. Back to you.
Great, I'm glad. Yeah, I got about 75% of the thing. That's better than it's been. That's what you were saying. Anyway, this thing was, like you said, manufactured in 1965, which you were correct on that. I'm using the ceramic stock mic for this. It's made by Shure. It's a small microphone for the thing, but of course it's not that big of a radio. It's mobile. That's about it. I mean, it's really a clean.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'll take my transmission. Sound like it might have lost power. Or he lost power. The Browning Raven, listening to Paul and his Browning Raven from about 35 miles away. Radio produced 1965 to 1966. So the last production runs of the Browning Golden Eagle, similar insides, listed for $269. So not really a bad price for an all 23 channel radio. So I'll tell you one thing, for a mobile radio, if you want to give somebody a radio check, you'd be able to see that S meter from anywhere, under the dash of your Buick. However, you're going to need a magnifying glass to figure out what channel you might be on. Look at that, where is it? That channel selector is a little slim. Let me see if the power came back on the radio. Paul, we heard you just fine, and then it jumped out for a little bit. The old Tube Radio Network listening, over.
Actually, that is real easy to see. They got a light on the thing, and you can see it's bigger than what it looks on the picture.
Okay, yeah, because I see the meters lighted, and you've got the nice big on-the-air lights. So I guess if you have it positioned right, it'll know where you're at, and it's got the knob. And in fact, it doesn't have a lot of knobs. I guess if you're going to be mobile, you just need to know where you're at, turn up the volume, and away you go. The very rare Browning Raven only made for about a little over a year. So my guess is there weren't a lot of those around, and we're glad that you've got one of them. All right, Paul, thanks for braving the skip land tonight, and we've got you checked in Radio 7 for the Browning Raven. Over. And Captain Robert, we've got you checked in. I'm glad you are feeling well enough to be on with us tonight. Definitely take it easy. But glad to hear you got the shots you need and that you are slowly getting back to recovering. But you should be good, right? You just got to take it one step at a time. And you are, what do they say? You're a pretty tough dude. So we know you will make it through. But we do appreciate you taking the extra time to jump in, Captain Robert, out there in Nevada. 648, and we've got you checked in. Looking for radio number 8. The Old Tube Radio Network, where the band is open tonight here on 11 meters. Gray line conditions, short skip, and your glow-in-the-dark radios. Listening for some of the AM guys on 75 meters tonight. Don't hear anything from the West Coast. You have a very weak carrier on 3885 out there on the East Coast. So it seems like all the action is on 11 meters tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network, we're looking for Radio 8. We've got a lot of people out enjoying the great weather that we're having just about everywhere, and also enjoying the fact that you can get together now, right? Some places, most places, you're get in, have a barbecue, and do whatever you used to do. Starting to open up, and that's a good thing. OTR standing by.
Are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
And Tom, hi. Tom asking a question. Good question. Is this just local CB? Well, the intent originally was just local CB. It was 36 years ago. to come down to Channel 11 from wherever you might be. And 36 years ago, there was a lot of, as you know, a lot of CB radio activity on all 23 channels, 40 channels at the time. So it was a Saturday evening thing. Bring out your tube radio that you normally don't use. Come down to Channel 11 and fire it up, and we'll make the channel sound like it used to. So we've been doing this for 36 years. We've got those who listen in who may or may not have tube radios that we say hello to. And on evenings like tonight, when the band is open, yes, indeed, we get the local stations, and we get stations from within the DX zone. About 10 years or so, we started doing audio streaming over the Universal Media NetWeb and the video as well. And it opened it up at least to viewers and listeners from all over who, as we found out, do similar things. Maybe not on Saturday evening, and maybe not with all tube radios, but get on the air night. And so, like I said, we welcome anyone and all to participate. It's not a club, no secret handshake. There is no dues. We welcome anyone to jump by, especially maybe you've stumbled across the tube radio and you need some help with it or want to hear how it sounds. This is the place to be. As you have heard, we have a lot of great collectors here in the Central Valley of California that take time out of their Saturday evenings to put the radios on the air and share them with us, and that is why we are here. And we are looking for radio number 8. And I'm looking over the list. 7 radios. We got some birds. Got some robins. General radio telephones. But, we got a Browning raven. But there is one bird. I think there is one bird that's missing that we normally would hear. So I don't know if this will help out the situation or not, but we'll give it a try. The old Tube Radio Network. ETC and one of their unknown hits from long ago.
Well, old tube rigs are hip. I really dig those lights that shine. And the crystal lights with the way they talk, their modulation is divine. The sonars and the robins really make you get out right. And the cobras with their dynamic boost, they keep their operators loud at night. I wish they all could be golden eagles. I wish they all could be golden eagles. I wish they all could be golden eagles, yeah. Well, Burbank has their generals, and those cute birds tweet all right. But the Johnsons with their tone alerts shut the ratchet jaws down at night. I've been all around this great big band, and I heard lots of rigs that sing. Yeah, but I couldn't wait to pardon my banana and keep the only rig with a ping. I wish they all could be golden eagles. I wish they all could be golden eagles. I wish they all could be golden eagles, yeah. I wish they all could be golden eagles. I wish they all could be golden eagles. I wish they all could be golden eagles. I wish they all could be golden eagles.
I'm kind of wishing that maybe just one will be a golden eagle tonight. That could give us Radio 8, but we're not doing too bad. The old Tube Radio Network. Standing by and looking for Radio 8 tonight.
That was worth turning the volume up for.
Yeah, you will not hear that anywhere else.
Well, I can definitely believe that. But that sounded real good.
Yeah, that is the new ETC mix. They're actually selling enough copies where I think they've gotten rid of the old microphone that looked like the soup can and are actually doing some good stuff. They were here last week. They are the limo took them to the airport. No, okay. The limo took them to the limo took them to the Greyhound bus station where I guess they took off for their latest gig.
Well, anyway, Dennis, that was good. That was worth turning my radio up louder for.
That's some toe-tapping, good old tube radio music.
Absolutely. Nothing like the Beach Boys.
There is nothing like the Beach Boys. Where are they?
There's a few of them still living and still doing it.
Yeah, and you were running around like I was back in their stomping grounds in Hawthorne, California.
Oh yes, that I definitely was. I've actually seen them down on the beach, even down near Redondo.
Yeah, I had my uncles actually grew up with them at up in the days of Hawthorne High, back in the humble beginnings. Anyway, we are very lucky to have the Special Trucking Company giving us their exclusive tunes to play on the old Tube Radio Network.
And I didn't live that far away from them. I lived over in Wilmington. You know where that's at?
I do know where that is at.
And my ex-wife, my son's mother and everything, they live right there on Hawthorne Boulevard in Lawndale.
Ah, yes. When I grew up, my first CB radios, there were not a lot of people in Manhattan Beach, but there were a lot of stations in Lawndale and Hawthorne and Gardena. And the CB, one of the CB stations there used to say, whatever his handle, I don't remember the handle, but from Lawndale, the land of the plastic grass. And that was in reference to when they took Hawthorne Boulevard in Lawndale. There was that big center median strip. Before they carved it out and actually put parking spaces in it, they filled it back in the 60s when it was the new thing. They filled it full of plastic grass to make it look green.
That they did. I remember that just before they did it. And, also right there after they put all that, took all the grass out, remember that's where they had that big robbery down there at the bank where they had the big shootout with the cops and everybody, and they were wearing armored gear.
Well, I'm trying to remember. There was there was a few shootouts. I'm not sure I remember any specific one, but I'm glad I wasn't too close.
Yeah, that one made it worldwide on the radio. These guys, literally, they had armored suits from head to toe on, the whole works, and they robbed a bank and got out, but, needless to say, they still did not make it. They had fights for, blocks in different streets, shooting out cars and everything. Oh, it was crazy. It was all over the news.
Yeah, they were just practicing for when later on Patty Hearst and the SLA came to town.
That's right. All right, let's get back to getting the net going.
All right, so counting and amounting soon. I won't stay on too late tonight. We got a good, decent early start. The band is still busy, so there might be some people wanting to do some DX, and I think a lot of people are still enjoying the great weather. OTR standing by looking for your Eagles, your Lafayette's, what have you. Bring them by. We're looking for radio number 8. Also, want to say hello to SWL 13, Mr. Cobra. Lucky number 13, we've got you, if you're listening in, got you checked in.
Well, I don't mean to disappoint anyone, but we're going to attempt to check in a Robin I'm sorry it's not a Browning, but we're going to do a Robin from the Radio Lounge, and I guess an SWL check-in as well.
All right, I have to find my lists. Let me go to the SWL list first. And I still haven't collated the pages here. Everything is separate. So 47 is checked in, and you have what I will call Radio 8 at 9:56 over.
Oh, awesome. Well, I think the theme of this evening is disappointment, because I know it's not a Browning, which I think you were looking for, but I was pretty disappointed. The weather outside is nothing short of spectacular by my standards, and I was going to do a check-in from the radio patio, but I still can't find my coax that I used to use to kind of take the shack outside. But anyways, greetings from the Radio Lounge. This, of course, again, is SWO 47, and I'm checking my Robin T123 with my I guess it's my most favorite feature of all these radios. No, it's not the receiver. No, it's not the microphone. No, it's not the transmitter. It's not anything except for the magic eye on this guy. I hope I'm getting this right. The 6RE13, I believe it is. It's the vertically mounted magic eye tube that you speak into it like I'm doing right now, and a bar illuminates from the top and goes downwards, and a bar illuminates on the bottom and goes upwards, and it kind of closes in, kind of doing the opposite of what my mouth is doing right now.
Yeah. Let's see. What was the old thing? Your mouth needs a Winchell's donut. It's supposed to make your mouth good. Do I have it right? Radio 8, Robin T123. Well, that was not. Let me go back, rewind a little bit. The musical fare is not per se a solicitation for any one type of radio. I don't want to give the idea that Net Control might be playing favorites. It is more of some classic entertainment to fill the time between whatever radios might check in. But it did seem apropos due to our bird-themed things checking in, and we'll see what happens. It actually did, like I said, did work. It's like the promo, right? It's sort of like a radio promo to get people up in the mood to check in a radio, as you have done. Radio number 8, the Robin T123, looking at the front where they've cut out of the front bezel a little slot, rectangular slot there as we look at the side of that tube. And another great green arrow picture that he had to actually have the microphone keyed, the radio on, and probably whistle into the microphone as he took this shot so that we could see the two upper and lower spots on the 6RE13 tube about ready to meet as they make 100% modulation, as you might be doing in moments.
You know, it's just amazing after all these years that you can kind of bring something up that I haven't spoken about. You know, you're right. Someone, unless I'm mistaken, I think the term you used was bezel. Someone bezeled out the rectangular slots on the face of this radio for the Magic Eye tube. You know, you're right. Someone did not just, put the face of this radio on, whatever, a table and just kind of stamp out the window hole for the S meter, and the channel selector, and the Magic Eye tube, and the hole for the speaker, and I guess even the PA switch. They're actually bezeled out. They're smooth and they're kind of angled inward. That's pretty cool. Someone I would have loved to have seen one of these things manufactured. You can see so many clips on YouTube these days of old things being made. I'd love to see one of these guys being put together. But But fun radio news. Going back to the Magic Eye tube in the bezeled hole, it's definitely quite active right now. Probably due more so in part to the astatic amplified D104 that I'm using right now, which has always felt pretty ergonomically correct. I think I had an unamplified Turner mic on this guy when I first got it, but now that it's relatively late in the evening and we have the sliding glass door open, and I don't want to harass my neighbors by screaming into a microphone. This thing seems like, well, at least it's making the Magic Eye tube bounce around. So I assume it's doing a decent job.
It is doing a very decent job. That is, out of all the radios that you have, I know the Browning sounds good and the B sounds good. This one just, you don't have to scream into it. It's got full fidelity. It's amplified just right. I don't hear background noise. We hear a little background noise from the skip, but I don't hear the kind of background noise of your voice bouncing off the wall. And it's a good advertisement for someone who says that's the radio. When they listen in, people do listen in. People watch the videos. They think that's the radio I want. Yours is a good advertisement for that's the radio I want. Of course, those are a little bit harder to find than the 123B. Let's see, you can find out more about it. If you've got a Sam's PhotoFax 35, page 95. The cool thing is it will do 12-volt DC. Make sure when you buy it, right, when you find it, that it's got the DC cable in the picture somewhere. Or if it's on the swap table at the thrift store, ask them if they've got that extra cable. Doing a good job, and like you said, the added bonus of, I remember staring into my S-meter on my Realistic Navajo, and that's sort of what all the stations look like. You just stare into the meter. But this has the addition, it's like color TV back in the day. This has the addition of the Magic Eye. So when you're receiving, when you're listening to me, you're staring into the meter, and then when you transmit, forget the meter and take a look at the Magic Eye. Back to you.
Concrete Man. Well, now that it sounds like Skip's kind of rolling in here, yeah, you're absolutely right about that radio. And yes, I did attempt to pull a fast one, probably more so just so that you could hear two different Robins. I know that the architecture is probably very similar, but I'm on my 123 Bravo now. Which, first of all, you made a comment about the 123 just not really being for sale these days, or you just can't find that many of them on eBay compared to the radio I'm on right now. And I got to confirm that's absolutely right. I think if they're not still up on eBay right now, just within the past few days, I've seen numerous Robin 123Bs like I'm on right now up on eBay, and I gotta say they actually look really, really, really good compared to some of the 123s I've seen. There might be one 123 on eBay right now, but anyways, they're both great radios. I'm curious, you go to the Universal Radio webpage, and no, I don't own any stock in that particular radio company. But you go to Universal Radio, and oftentimes you can see the back panel of radios. And I'm curious, at this point in time, I can't pull this the radio I'm on out to look at the back, but I know on my 123, I'm kind of switching back and forth pretty quick here, but on the 123, there's a headphone jack in the lower right-hand side of the radio on the front. If you want to plug your headphones in there, and I don't know if this guy. I don't think this has, unless it does on the back. Maybe someone can make a comment on that, but I don't think this has a headphone jack anywhere on it, unless I'm just not aware of it.
Across the land.
No, I don't have a rear view of it. So I'm going to say on the 123B, what you would do, it's got an external speaker and a PA. So you would end up having to use the external speaker. And I'm assuming that might still be controlled by the volume controls. So you may have to check. You may have some impedance mismatching. But it's got to have an output for the external speaker. And that might be the way to do it. You may have to run the level low, or external speaker sort of like a headphone jack. So minus impedance issues, I would say that's at least on the B. That's what you would do on the not B. To be or not to be. On the not B, yeah, it might not have something. Although I'm not sure what this is. The B is a Panasonic chassis. The not B, I don't know if that is or not. Obviously, you could wire something in for your late night listening pleasure, and I'm sure it doesn't have any protect your ear type of circuit in there, so you would have to be careful.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to be careful here, and I'm actually did stick my hand in the back of the radio. Jesus, I hope I don't get shocked, especially since I'm transmitting. What do I feel back there? I don't know. I don't think I do feel the jack on there. The 123 does have a PA switch, which I'm assuming would probably be. Boy, I hate opening my mouth if I when I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm assuming on the back of the 123, it's probably got one RCA out that would have allowed you to hook up an external speaker or PA to that radio. This one, and yet it still had that jack on the front for headphones. This one, like you said, it does have the PA button on it. It's a button, and on the PA on the 123 is actually a switch. So I just don't know. This is good again. You're giving me homework, and I like this. Maybe tomorrow when it's not so late, I'll pull this one out and take a look. But anyways, it's a fun radio to use. I have not taken it out on the road. I'm reminded as I look at the rather small modulation lamp that I do have to kind of get into this and not be so lazy when I'm transmitting, because it's just not an amplified mic and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for letting me check it in. It's fun radio, and again, if you want one of these guys, a 123B, look on eBay, because they're all over the place.
Indeed, the audio fidelity is comparable between the 123 and the 123B. Your 123, I think, is a little bit louder, a little bit beefier, probably thanks to the amplified microphonium. Yes, be very careful if you're plugging headphoniums that are connected to your ears into a PA output. That's going to be very loud. That might not be a good thing. And 23 Skidoo got into the OTR Rolodex and flipped it around and said the 123 external speaker impedance is 4 to 8 ohms as per the manual. So depending on your headphone impedance, you might need to crank things up or crank things down, but it would probably work that way. We're talking with Mike Keys on radio number 9, and the one you're hearing now, if you weren't paying attention, you might think it was the 123 of earlier, but this is the 123B. The picture we're showing, and I agree, Bullseye 101 saying amazing to own radios like this. Wish I did. So, well, that's why the Old Tube Radio Network is here, to encourage people to be on the lookout for radios. This is the Panasonic chassis, the 123B, which shows up in many different forms under the T-Berry Model T and the Chris 23 Plus, is a great radio to find. You can't go wrong with that. But to some of the other ones we had check in tonight, especially like the EF Johnson Messenger 223, also a great radio. And typically, at least it used to be that you could find them reasonable I'm not sure. That was the early days of eBay. The today days of eBay, I don't know if anything is reasonable. So check your local thrift stores, your local garage sales, and you may come up with something. So the nice thing about these radios, it's better than an old car. An old car looks good if you get a nice one, but it might not run very well, and it could leak oil. A radio like this, you get it, and maybe it doesn't work quite right, but I'll guarantee it'll look really cool sitting on the shelf next to whatever you might have, and it shouldn't leak oil. Let's put it that way. If it leaks oil, you're in trouble.
37.
And it might take a transmission, and then we'll pick up radio number 10.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for letting me check it in. I've been listening for a while now, and everyone sounds great on this. I must admit, I was doing some shrimp tacos out on the radio patio, and I missed the Browning Raven that must have been checked. I think you said one was checked in earlier. If you don't mind my asking, who checked that in? Because I've always had my eye on one of those. Those you're not going to find on eBay very often, or at least ones that look halfway decent. But on that answer, I'll just kind of be listening in the background here. So thanks again, as always. I'll be clear on after your transmission there. So thanks, and 73. Everyone sounds great. Have a great weekend. 47.
All right, isn't that cool that we actually had one tonight, and that was from Paul's collection. Wouldn't it be cool to have Browning in the mobile, a Browning mobile radio. So that was Paul's Raven. Also, Mitch checked in the Rolodex. Back of the 123 has a single combined external speaker PA jack. All right, so that's just the output. So make sure you've got external speaker punched up if you put some headphoniums in there, not the PA. Actually, the PA is going to work on receive anyway. It's going to only work if you, I guess, key the microphonium and going to put that audio amplifier right into your headphones. All right, thanks for checking in the Robins tonight. We're counting and amounting. It's 10:13 already, but there is a breaking station. If it's a radio, I'm definitely going to check it in. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Dennis. It is a radio. I would like to check in my Chris 23 Plus, the CB transceiver, 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark, and we're running this here with the original handheld Chris microphone. Over.
The handheld microphonium stock radio is always a good thing. You don't need to have beefy extra things to make your radio work. Let me get a shot of it, and this is a good radio to check in. As per our discussion, I believe the Chris 23 Plus is also the same chassis, the Panasonic chassis as the radio we just heard. Notice it's a little less populated on the front. Doesn't have the range boost. It's got the mod meter, but it doesn't have some of the other items. So it's the same radio, but a few lesser accessories brought to the front. Here's another great radio that you might be able to find for a first radio, the Chris 23 Plus. You'll have great audio and a good receive, as we will hear when Chris takes another transmission.
It does have a modulation light that flashes red, as I thought. But so that is one thing, and if I have it cranked up loud enough on my receive, you can actually make it blink too, Dennis. Over.
Make it blinking and winking. Yeah, must be some voltage going through there. And you are running the stock microphone or a stock microphone. So for those listening, that is the way it sounds without any special D104 amplified whatever. So out of the box, running quite well. And I'll go back to you for transmission. We'll give you an S-meter reading as well.
Okay, yeah, this is the original handheld microphone for the radio. It says Chris right on the front of it. Blue with silver lettering in it, so it definitely says Chris. So, but it's spelled different than mine, but it still works. Over.
Yeah, I was just about to say, too bad they can't spell it right, but it's a good radio. Chris on the Chris works good for me. Radio 10, you got us up into double digits, and that's a good thing here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you, Dennis. Well, I just walked in here, my movie ended, and I heard him talking in that radio he had, which sounded damn good. Excuse the language, but It did. It sounded real good over here. Of course,
I just walked in here from a movie and
I like the sound of it. Anyway, I'm going to be out of here and listening, let you do the counting and amounting.
All right, and dare I say it, this is the damn good sounding radio frequency, as proved tonight by our tube radio operators. Counting and amounting on the old tube radio network, gray line happening in the Hawaii, out in the Pacific. We're here in Central California, 27085, the local frequency to listen to. Perhaps we're DXing in your area, also streaming live at oldtuberadio.net, and the YouTube page is up and running. The Chris 23 Plus 1972 vintage, 11 tubes, and it is the second generation Panasonic chassis, OTR. And then the Jingle Singers said,
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
And Lauren's saying, looking for those 8950 tubes to keep the radios alive, help you out. That has been a discussion here on the old Tube Radio Network for, well, we've been on for 36 years. It's been a discussion for 36 years on how they used to be, what, $10? How they used to be very easy to get, and those that have the 8950 tubes, especially for what's the Siltronics? The Comanches, the Siltronics radios that runs the 8950s, and some of the amps, retubing those becomes very expensive. So we are always, like you, sir, we are always on the lookout for those tubes. So keep an eye out, and we'll always try and let anybody know if there's a good spot or a good place to pick those up. OTR is counting and amounting. Okay, last call for radios and check-ins.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, we'll call it the current and final totals. Thanks tonight to our sponsor. Who is our sponsor tonight? Panasonic Sony Sylvania. Mesa Discount, high quality, lowest prices. That is the pen that is in the pocket protector here tonight at the Old Tube Radio Network. Oops. Got to put in the pocket protector. I almost ruined the seersucker suit tonight. 10 radios. We did make it into double digit tonight, as a lot of people are out trying to enjoy their first outdoor barbecue or whatever they do for a while. The weather is great here for doing just that here in Central California tonight. SWLs, we had 15 on page 1, 16 on page 2, 17 on page 3, and 23 on page 4, for a total of 71. Not too bad for a 15th of May on your Old Tube Radio Network. Radios tonight, who was the most heard manufacturer? It started out to be a general radio type of evening. Then the Robins came in, but the general radio telephones still heard, were still the most heard manufacturer. We picked up a Browning, but it was a Raven. ETC came in and talked about the Eagles, but the Robins flew in and took over with 4 from Robin tonight. Total of 10. Started off with the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A from Cliff, Mr. Green Arrow. The one in the picture that we always show, that was the actual radio from that picture, sounding good. And Cliff said he needed a radio to get through the skip like we had last week, and again we had it this week. That was a good choice. It worked well. Cutting through the noise tonight, Chris was on his General Radio Telephone Super MC11A for radio number 2. Joe, 60 from Clovis on the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. There's another great radio to look for if you're looking to start something with a collection. Any of the early Johnsons, the Messenger 2, Messenger 1, limited in channels, but yeah, if you're got an old tube radio network, make sure you got a channel 11 crystal on those tube radios. Radio number 4, the General Radio Telephone Super MC9. From Paul, the first of the General Radio telephones to use the ECLL 800 tube. I wonder how much those are. I wonder if they're like 8950s. Might be hard to find. The Robin T123B, Chrissy and Dwayne. Heard it at the beginning. I urge you, if you're just tuning in or you're watching the video, go back to the beginning of the roll call. 00 specifically, SWL10 and SWL30. You will hear that Robin T123B checking in from Idaho, and it's okay to do that. The FCC said it's okay to go over 150 miles on contacts now. Still got to stay on the 5-watt deal, the 4-watt, 4 or 5 watts, but if you just happen to hear a station from far away, go for it, and we did that, so they did a good job on the T123B. Sounding good. I'm gonna replay that back after I get done here tonight. Also, radio number 6, that was radio 5. Actually, it was radio 0, right? But we put it in as 5. Radio 6, the Robin T123B from Joe. See what you started, Dwayne and Chrissy. We got the Robins tonight. Most heard radio. The Browning Raven, the mobile Browning, fashioned after the R27S23 Browning Eagle from 1965, 66, 1964. Paul brought that by for Radio 7. Radio number 8 was the Robin T123 with the Magic Eye, and radio number 9, the Robin T123B without the Magic Eye, both from Mike. And then Chris, as you heard moments ago, capped it off with the Chris 23 Plus. Great radios tonight, as always, the Old Tube Radio Network. We're here because of you, and we appreciate the time you take checking in the classic radios. It takes a little bit of time and a lot of radio real estate to keep the radios up and running, and the reason we have been here for so long is that we have some great stations that do that. Looking for your radios as the band opens up as the skip. Feel free to check in. Obviously, you don't need to have any numbers to fire up a radio. And we like that, and we appreciate those who join us from near and far out on the audio streams and do similar like things with radio nights. We wish we could hear them all. So keep Channel 11 open on Saturday evenings and listen to the Old Tube Radio Network, won't you? What is, let's see, I'm seeing Boston 97. The Samsung, the Chris 23 Plus shows a schematic resembling a Lafayette Comstat 25B, 6 AQ5 modulator, 6 and front end. Well, I wonder if the 25B is also one of the Panasonic chassis. And has anyone ever checked in with the Cal Western? Off the top of my head, wherever it is, off the top of my head, I don't believe so. So I don't even think, I'm looking to see who would be, Cal Western. You know what? We have it in the Rolodex. Let me see before we go. I'm taking a super long transmission. I see a RC100 and a TX. Oh, wait, there it is. I'm going to put it up here. There it is. Let me go to that. The Cal Western RC100 and TX100. Almost like a Buddy bass. Or almost like, it's like a cross between a Buddy and a Demco. Might not be either one. No, I'll guarantee, I don't think we've had an RC100. That would be super cool. So that's the, obviously, the receiver and the transmitter, but it reminds me of a Buddy, the RXTX, so we'll do some research. Maybe it is a Buddy. Maybe it is a satellite. Haven't had one. We're going to add it to the list. And 23 Skidoo says the 25B is the second generation Panasonic, same as the Chris 23 Plus from 1969. Great stuff. All right, to the Old Tube Radio Network, before I blow things up here, 73, everybody, thanks for listening in, checking in. I'm not going to do any HF stuff tonight. The bands were just really awful. Give everybody a chance to go out and enjoy the weather's what left of it, and it might even be, where you're listening, it might be Sunday morning already. If you're watching the live program. Thanks to ThirstLawrence.com from the Nixie Tube. 73 from the Old Tube Radio Network.
if you notice that transmit dial, kind of looks like the 23S9, one of those dials.
Yeah, and then rumor has it, Paul is saying that the inside is like an international crystal, an ICM. And, the transmitter, I think that's the one on top. Is that the transmitter? No, that's probably the receiver. Sort of has that ICM look to it. So interesting to see. We're going to have to grab one of those for the Old Tube Radio Network. And I like the way you just jump in. Somebody always jumps in to make sure that we don't end. It's like an encore. We do the encore presentation. Adding SWL 20, and I'll make it official to the top of the page here. And then we are going to be adding, I misspoke. We are going to be adding Radio 11, and I think the Eagles have landed. Hello, Harvey.
Well, in this case, we'll call this the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68, another Browning Lavatories radio.
When you say another, that is to say it is not Old Faithful?
It is, but if I called it the Browning Golden Beagle, then we'd have a dog.
Well, it definitely doesn't sound like a dog. It's going nice.
Roger. And right after all you guys talked to Idaho, the net, or just at the beginning, I got a phone call up there in Modesto while I was working from an excitable person saying, "Guess who I talked to?" So that was pretty good. I liked that. That was great. Okay, I'll let you sign off. Thanks for checking me in. I just barely made it back.
Just in time. We went over time. Dwayne is the best operator when it comes to just jumping in. He was probably good, when they used to do the jump rope thing and you just kind of step in and step out. Exactly. He did that before. Just kind of steps in and says, "Oh, by the way, I'm checking in. No, by the way, I'm in Idaho. No, by the way, you sound good." So I'm gonna listen to the replay. Chrissy came in, sounded great. The 123B was flawless, and everybody got checked in, 00, 10, and 30. And timed perfectly. The DX cloud was right over Oregon, Washington, Idaho to Central California. Mr. Bill checked in from Cheyenne. He wasn't quite as loud as the Idaho stations, and then the cloud moved to Southern California and up into Northern California. So it was a good evening for that. Plus, we got an extra, Robin out of the mix. Anyway, you are checked in and sounding good.
Oh, thank you. Bill made it in. Oh, that's a super bonus, too. That's great. Okay. I just got in. I got to rest. Anyway, catch you next week. I hopefully will be checking in a couple of generals. One that I haven't checked in a couple of years, and maybe two that I've never checked in. So we'll see. We're going to give it a shot there. Okay. Catch you next week. Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, and you will not be, Mitch is mentioning that you will not be catching any worms tonight on the Browning Golden Eagle because it is definitely not an early bird at Radio 11. But it does get the Brownings on the list along with the Ravens tonight. 73, thanks for popping in. I'm glad we could be out there. And the Old Tube Radio Network is, what did we used to say in the thing? We're going to be 10-8, 10-10, and eventually a 10-7. And maybe a 10-100. All right, catch you later.
Hey, Harvey. Yeah, what? How's it going, hey? It's going real good. I'm using the opposite of the Harvey range boost. Oh, okay.
No, how's the MC-11 sounding?
Sounds great. I heard you check in on the road, and sounded real good.
No, yeah, and I screwed up 11A,
No, that's the Canadian model. I have the 11, Super MC-11, which is 100% American made. You've got the Canadian version A.
Oh, yeah, beauty.
You got it. Okay.
Hey, I'm glad you caught some of that. Did you get to hear Chrissy check in and all that?
No, I missed that. But I'm going to see if I have time next couple of days to replay the show and see if I can hear her. But no, I'm just happy everything's working fine, and Bill even checked in. That's great.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Bill in some time. Yeah, definitely listen to the replay. It's pretty interesting. Just that kind of timing and skip conditions all happening simultaneously. That just doesn't happen very often. Anyway, okay, I'll let you go. See ya.
Oh, damn, I missed it.
Ed, where you been?
Oh, well.
You missed the show, Ed.
I just got home from poker.
Break.
Go ahead.
The stream is still up. 7 is getting checked in.
Thank you, sir.
I was just ready to hit the big button.
Oh, I'm lucky. I came home with $1 more than I went with, so I won.
It's your lucky day. Checked in too. Yeah, your lucky day. Checked in too. Maybe you should play the lottery. All right, now everything is going away. 73.
Thank you.
Hey, Ed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Did you know when to hold them and when to fold them?
Well, I was definitely folding quite a bit, so I came ahead with one, so I guess I did.
Okay, you take it easy.
Thanks, Guy. Take care.
All right, we've got one more. One more on the Universal Media Netweb. It's that kind of night. But Johnny Defiant has made it in as well. Good night, everybody.
Hello, Johnny Defiant.
Thanks, Dennis. Really enjoyed the net. Hey, Ed, what's happening?
Well, I just got here, so I've been having a few adult beverages, playing some poker, and there you go.
Yeah, I heard you poker. I was going to ask, who was it?
No. There was a whole bunch of us, so we weren't all doing it more.
Roger D. Well, doggone it. Yeah, what a net tonight. Wow. I don't think this has got to be the best of the year. This one here tonight, boy. It just seemed like everybody came in from all angles. Old Bill out there in Cheyenne. Boy, that 123B that Harvey had sold, that one came in from Idaho. Good God Almighty, boy! And it was a hell of a night.
I was listening to these guys and they were talking about. I didn't get in on the beginning of it, so I missed part of what they were saying. But they were basically talking about the FCC saying that ham radio operators, you've got to do an antenna calculation